Okay, so it looks like we are streaming live, so I will go ahead and call this meeting to order at 6:33 p.m. If we could get a roll call, please. Thank you.
Banish Theranot.
Here.
Wiggs.
Here.
Wilson. Arez.
Here.
Crane. Furtado. Hanauer Friedman.
Here.
Lakshan.
Here, we have quorum. Can I get an approval of the agenda for tonight's meeting? Moved by Vanich Theranot, second by Hanauer Friedman. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. An approval of the minutes from the December 2nd, 2025 meeting. Moved by Wiggs, second by Vanich Theranot. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? And then I believe we can do now the approval of the closed session meetings that have been distributed. Can I get a motion for that? Moved by Wiggs, second by Aras. If there's any discussion on that, we will have to move into a closed session. Any discussion? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Do we have any public input for tonight's meeting? No? No? All right. Any board communications? Chair Locke.
Really stretching member of the committee by, ex officio. I just wanted to come make sure that everybody in the room on the facilities committee knew that, we have our courthouse space issue. We have judges playing musical chairs. I'm happy to learn, and I'm not sure everybody in the room knows about it yet. We have received our architectural study. It has been completed, and there's a meeting scheduled next week between all the various stakeholders to discuss it, and hopefully we can come up with a solution moving forward. I don't like threats of lawsuits. I don't think anyone else in the room does either. But we do have that is off in the future, but hopefully the near future will be coming before us.
Thank you. Any other communications from board members? Okay, moving forward to new business. We have first item is discussion and approval of the Alias Air Handler Unit RFP. This was carried over from last month. We had the missing kind of header page, so that has been rectified. I'll let Michelle talk more about that.
Yeah, the specifications haven't changed, just the formal documentation has been added, and GHR is here if you have any technical questions that you really want to dive into.
Any questions on? Member Furtado.
Where is it?
Where's what? Oh, it was only emailed to you because it's like 400 pages. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions, concerns? Thank you for being here. Can I get a motion to approve the Alias AHU RFP? Moved by Vanich Theranot, second by Wiggs. Any more discussion on this one? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to discussion and approval of the recommendation of award of contract pursuant to RFP 2025-014 for mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and engineering services. Michelle, take it away.
Yeah, so just for clarification, per the purchase policy, the approval of the bids goes to the county board, but I just wanted to check in with you all as the facilities committee on what I would like to recommend to the county board in terms of approval. You have all of the bids in your packet. I wanted to intentionally stick with the companies that we have been using. We have a very long history with all of them, which in my short time in facilities, I've learned is like critically important to be able to talk to someone about something who actually did the original project around it. Their rates were competitive to all the other bids that we received or even lower. So I have seen no reason that we would change or that we would add to the rotation of companies that we're using at this point. So this conversation for BNC is just to take a temperature and make sure there was no concern about this recommendation going to the board later in January.
So GHR was the only bid?
No, there was another one,
okay.
another company.
That was the recommended, okay.
Yeah. But GHR, if you look, is integrated into at least the Bailey Edwards. So they just touch so much of our stuff that to introduce another company seems redundant and creating excess work. So.
I think I was just unclear with like the memo and with the included proposals. I only see, am I only seeing JHR for the mechanical section? Or am I missing something in my, was that, were we only including the recommended one? Okay, that's what it
Looks like
was.
only the recommended ones are in here.
Got it.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I didn't realize that. I think I sent an email though with all of them. Yeah. My apologies.
I mean, I second everything you just said. We've been, I mean, as long as I've been on facilities, I've been working with GHR and have had no concerns and look forward to continuing the relationship. Any other questions, discussion on this item? We're not actually voting to approve. We're just looking at what Deputy Director Jett has recommended. Member Aris.
So I guess just for like clarification, all of the ones that are putting their bid are going for approval to the county board or only the recommended ones?
Only the recommended ones.
Okay.
There's additional architect engineering ones and there's one additional mechanical one.
Member Wicks, did you have something?
Ooh, do we know who the other?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought it was included. Here, I can pull it up real fast. The other engineering one is Dewberry. And 1919, I believe, is one of the architects.
Any other questions, discussion in the meantime while we look for that info?
Yeah, so architects are 1919 architects. Your firm, which is based in Chicago. WOLD. Senga.
Thank you.
All right, anything else on the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and engineering? If you have any concerns following the meeting, you can always reach out to Michelle or to Executive Summers to follow up before next week's Committee of the Whole. We can move along to the discussion and approval of recommendation of award of contracts pursuant to RFP 2025-015 for architectural services. Oh,
Point of order, did we need to vote?
no, this is just Michelle letting us know ahead of time what will be presented to the full board.
Okay.
If we have any concerns or questions, as the facilities committee, we can bring those up now ahead of the full boards, just so that we're aware and we know, and are able to speak to the full board about what we've learned. Member Furtado.
Don't typically things that go before committee, they get voted and then they just don't get put on consent?
Microphone.
Releasing the RFP comes from the committee. Approving the contract from the RFP goes straight to the county board, which is why I'm saying this is going to the county board, because facilities isn't in COW, so.
Oh, so when I said next week, I should have said in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Apologies.
the following week, yeah.
Member Aris.
So, I know you said that the other ones that are not necessarily already recommended are in the email. Were they in the agenda packet by chance, or?
I can reshare the folder that I have with all of the bids with you. So it'll be at the top of your
Okay.
inbox.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? Looks like no. All right. So that one will also go forward to the full board in 2 weeks. Next on the agenda, we have a Brookins update from Michelle.
Yeah, I put this on here like a week or two ago. Not expecting the news to be so excited that we put the building on the market. I just wanted to make sure you guys knew the building officially was on the market. That was all I actually wanted to say with this. It is officially listed. It's at 3.5, which is in the ballpark of an appraisal we had done in about 2017, 2019. They took pictures. We're using, one of the bids from the RFP that we did last year. So just informative. Again, I was not expecting it to be a news story. So I just wanted to make sure we talked about it.
Any questions, discussion on the Brookins listing? It was nice to see. The listing looks really nice. The photos make it look like a very attractive building. So.
This is a very skilled photographer.
Nothing else here? Then we'll move on to the ARPA spending update.
Yeah, this is the Furtado spreadsheet because Member Furtado is always harassing me for these numbers. So that's what I'm calling this. The 6.4 this is how Kathy keeps track of it. That's the full amount that was originally allocated to the jail consolidation effort. So I'm not trying to dissect her numbers. That'd be a mess. So just of that 6.4, this is everything that we've spent. We've got about 1.8, but this is as of the end of November. So there's more of that has still been spent, and we've allocated some of it since I got these numbers as well. So we are moving through that money quite quickly.
Which is good. We need to have it done. Member Furtado.
Is this actually spent or allocated?
This is spent. This is not allocated. This is spent.
Can we have another column that shows allocated next time?
I will call it the Furtado column.
Thank you.
Attention to detail is good. Any other questions, comments, concerns on ARPA spending?
Tell me again that you're going to spend $1,877,045.46.
I am absolutely going to spend it, and I'm probably going to come in and be like, oh, I went a little over budget. Can I have a little more money? So we have no shortage of facilities projects.
Anything else on ARPA spending?
And I'll update it for next month as well. So.
Thank you. Moving on to department structure update. There was a memo that was passed around, should be on all of your desks, and I will let Michelle take over for this one as well.
Yeah, it's just that conversation that we had last time, but we are running everything through the JEC on Thursday, turning around, finalizing this memo and submitting it for policy, personnel, and appointments for the COW next week. So I just wanted you to see it as a facilities committee ahead of time. Let me know if you have any feedback or input. It's the structure that we talked about, elimination of facilities director and building and grounds, and creation of these 3 other management positions in their place.
I can give everybody a minute to flip through that since we got it tonight, but it is, again, what we discussed last month, so it probably looks pretty familiar to you. Just let me know if you have any questions or comments, concerns when those pop up. Member Hanauer Friedman.
This may be in here. I haven't looked at every word yet, but can you include, if it's not already here, how this impacts the budget?
It does not. I've got a line in there towards the end, so we are not asking for any additional funds. I think that we can afford all these changes in our existing budget.
Okay. Thank you.
At the end of page 2 on there, not requesting any additional personnel funds for this change. None of these changes are to union positions. Is that what you were referring to on there? Okay. Anything else? on here?
Maybe just move that higher up.
I will make it, I will put arrows pointing at it.
Like at the end of that first paragraph.
That's, yeah, I can do that.
Thank you.
Get some word art text.
Yeah.
A little wavy line? No? Okay. Else on there? I'm going to close that up then. Moving on to other business. I have no other business. Member Furtado.
I have one thing. It was probably, I should have discussed it in one of the other 2. I think maybe it would help the full board is when we bring these 2 things before the full board, at least maybe pulling the rate sheets for the firms that were selected and then the firms that weren't, and having them like that be the first thing in the memo. I mean, just the 3 that we have are pretty wide range. Bailey Edwards is almost double the 3rd one. But also it's not comparing apples to apples. They also have like 15 more categories. But if you try to, I mean, I get that everybody doesn't have the same titles, but when you look at it's, I think it's like the difference is like 300 to 170 an hour. So I'm sure there's reasons for that. And I'm not necessarily, it's a, I'm sure the different firms have different, and I am totally for going with continuity, but I do think I would anticipate that the full board would ask that question, is like, how does the price compare? So I think having, these are the 3 that we selected with those rate sheet, and they're also kind of hard to find because they're not always in the same order in the packets. And then these are the rate sheets of the ones we didn't go to. That's just a suggestion. Because otherwise, I think you're going to get that question.
That's an excellent point, though. Is there anything else that you think the full board may ask on these RFP approvals? I mean, we've already moved on from them, but we'll say it's other business. We are prepping for the board meeting in 2 weeks. One thing that I always look for is whether or not they're local or have a local presence. I know that about GHR. I know that about Bailey Edward, and would have to flip through and remind myself of what else was in the packet. But I would love to see that about the firms maybe that we're not going with, just laid out. In addition to the rates, they're based out of Chicago or wherever. Yes, Member Furtado.
I have another other business. It's something that we talked about doing a long time ago, but then just never did, is I still would like to bring some sort of analysis of the PLAs that we've had so far to the full board. I know that our study session in January, I think maybe we wait till after the referendums and everything, because I think that's going to be taking a lot of our study session attention, but maybe at the April full board, so like maybe the April this, we have some data that we look at, think through, are there any other questions we anticipate the full board would want? And I think it would be worthwhile to do it as a study session personally, or as a full board agenda item. But I think it was a major new effort. It's something we're continuing to do. It's a significant shift in our construction management and an analysis of how that's impacting, particularly around the questions of racial and gender equity, I think are important. And I think there's a really good message to put out there around these things that we just have not shared as a committee. So I would like to request again that after we get through the referendum stuff, that we dedicate some serious time to that, both in this committee and before the board.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
we'll have more PLA data at that point too. We have one going right now, and then the 2 JDC projects, the solar project, those will all be PLAs, so.
Just to follow up, because I do think there are some things that we did not include in the first one, and we could see like, okay, were our goals unrealistic? Could we strengthen them, maybe expand some of them? If we're hitting them, why not push it further? And then specifically seek to codify requiring them to track veteran status, I think would be a good thing, which I know we'd have to run all that through the state's attorney's office. So I think getting a clear-eyed analysis of where we are could then behoove us to think about what is next.
Yeah, and I think just from a process standpoint, we also need to rewrite just how we put it in place, because like right now, it always has to come back to the board for approval, which I think it should just be part of the contract process and is just a signature from the executive's office, because it actually kind of slows down the whole process. And I've noticed it makes contractors nervous of like, well, what if they don't approve that? Does that mean everything else isn't approved? And it's like, no, it's just, we worded it weird, it's fine, so if we could clean that up in the resolution as well, that'd be good.
It seems like we could add that into our purchasing policy requirements. Like I know the state's attorney wanted us to do individual PLAs instead of a blanket one, but that as a step we could put in the same way as we did responsible bidder language, or the thresholds for RFPs and stuff like that. So we could put that step in. Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Anything else for other business? Seeing nothing there. I have no presiding officer's report. Our next meeting is February 3rd, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. The item to be placed on the consent agenda is 6A, and we are adjourned at 6:57 p.m. Thank you all.